Hello, welcome back to another episode of Deep Dive into the Census. I love this site, CGC Data. Can't get enough of it. I spent a lot of time on here just to play around, to just look at different numbers because I am just a number geek, a statistic geek, a data geek. I embrace it. But on the homepage, as you see right here, there is a whole lot of interesting things that you can choose to look at. And as this series go along, I will do all kind of different searches. But for now, for this episode, let's focus on something that is interesting that I think, well, I knew, but I think a lot of people have heard me talk about the slapping market over the past few years, where I said that it is the modern market that is driving the business of both CGC and CBCS. Okay, sure, there are people submitting bronze, gold, silver, all that stuff, but at the end of the day, the last many years, I would say the last 8 years for sure, the business of CGC is predominantly modern books. It's very lucrative because A, it's easy to grade, easier to grade, faster to grade. That's why they charge a little bit less and they can pump them out. And the market, the dynamic of the market is there for whatever reason. Okay, I'm not in that market. I'm not the kind of submit books for modern for the most part. I don't submit sketch covers. I don't go for signature, but that is where there's such a boom in the market, and that's one of the reasons why CBCS was able to make fast inroad. Okay, CBCS from the start, I'm sure, had an inkling that it's gonna be very tough to compete with CGC in the silver age or bronze age arena. But when it comes to modern age, there's a lot of newer collectors that enter the market on a daily basis. There is no loyalty there. They can grab that market share, and they did. That's why they're so busy. But here, you see this right here? This option right here, totals by decade. I click on that, and this is what pops up, okay? So let's take a look. Now, you gotta remember, keep in mind, CGC opened its door back in roughly 1999. Okay, so a lot of these modern books, for example, books that was done from 2000, from the decade of 2000 to 2009, or at the end of 2009, and of course 2010 to 2018 to current time, this book was not even printed yet. Okay, but just take a look in comparison to other decade. Look at how many books were submitted from 2010 onward that was printed, that was published. 564,000 plus as far as universal, and then 320,000. Talk about yellow label madness, right? Look at that. And then you have to qualify and then restore. You add all of that together, and what do you get? 890,000. Okay, roughly 890,000 slabs from books that were published in 2010 and onward. And just take a look at books that was done between 2000 and 2010. Look at that number, 510,000 roughly. Okay, look at that. If you add those numbers together, 404 plus 105 plus 9,000, okay? Quick math, give you about 510,000. So between these two decades, from 2000 to current, my God, you get over 1.4 million books. That's a lot. Now take a look at the other decade, the 90s. Not close, right? Not close. You got 385 plus 77. Okay, you can look at the math. You don't have to do the math, but you can see it's not 500,000. Okay, Now, surely the 80s, is that a surprise? No. Okay, the 80s and the 70s, is that a surprise? But look at the signature series. Okay, sure, the blue, that should not be a surprise that a lot of books were submitted in the 80s, lots of keys. Same thing with the 70s, lots of keys, but in total, see, I want you to focus on total. Look at the 70s, 700, roughly not even 700,000. Okay, the 80s, roughly 630 something, 640,000. Okay, roughly 640,000. So it is nowhere near this avalanche of modern books that is getting submitted these days from 2010 and onward. Okay, that is a huge number. When you're looking at that number right there from books that was submitted, that was published in the past 8 years, yet it beats out all the other decades. Okay, easily, not even close. Okay, many of when CGC first opened its door in 1999, guess what? They weren't grading anything in the 90s. Well, barely. There were some, but definitely not. Okay, the last 18 years, that didn't exist yet. But wow, okay, that's just to show you how lucrative the modern market is. You cannot deny that. Okay, the trend is the modern books, the signature series, the yellow label. There is a fever. When would the fever break? I don't know. If the fever break, CGC and CBCS will be worried because they derive a lot of their profit from this segment of the market. Make no mistake, okay? They are not making money or profit of silver, gold, or bronze. This is it right here. It's faster, it's quicker, it's easier to grade, and they are pumping the slabs out as fast as they can grade them. And that's it for this episode of Deep Dive into the Census. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.